Here's the setup. Solar power battery, 12 volts, wired in series, right? Batteries?
No, because it's 12. Yeah. It says 12 volts. Two of them are you're combining the amps, so you have more.
The batteries are wired in parallel. We've got ductwork, paracord holding it up, 2 fans, one at each end, and a connection. Can you plug it in? So we got a barrel plug that I soldered up. And the 2 fans blow a decent amount. There's a grill here on this power supply fan side. Sorry, thank you. Mr. Playter's gonna retrofit a
Keegan,
different...
did you bring the flux in?
Yeah, do you have the flux? Keegan?
Yeah.
Do you have the flux? The soldering grease?
Paste.
Paste? So Keegan might have the soldering paste.
If you didn't bring it in on Monday.
Oh, I got it.
And Mr. Playter is going to attach a different connection.
You can see the smoke
to this.
Right up.
How many watt power supply?
Here.
Is this?
It's 19. It says on it there, 19 volts, 3.42 amps. But I need a different end on it because of what I'm using it for.
So like roughly 60 watts?
They just multiply those together.
Probably 60.
Ask Google.
It's probably 60.
You know what the problem with this soldering iron is? The tip's so dirty.
Yeah. How do we? So yeah, let's grease it up.
Clean it off.
So we can clean it up.
Every time we use
Fume hood sucks it off. The fume hood sucks the fumes up out the window.
But watch this. You'll get lots of fumes here. You'll be able to see.
Boom.
Look at all the gunk coming off that soldering iron. You need a sponge.
Perfect.
You need a copper sponge.
Additional explanation for soldering. During the video, I didn't exactly explain a little bit of the technique when you're soldering. So you have your filament or your solder, and you have your soldering iron. And what you want to do when you're making a connection is you have your 2 wires secured properly so you don't have to hold them with your hands. Footage online of a cold restart here demonstrating how to solder properly.
Clip third hand device.
Using a third hand really helps securing the wire. He uses a
The first thing
twisted strand wire.
Is tin the tip of the soldering iron. Then I knock off the excess solder and then lightly tin the tip again.
So always keeping
I then
tin.
place the tin tip of the soldering iron firmly against the wire. The idea is to use the iron to heat the wire, then melt the solder onto the heated wire. Never touch the solder to the tip of the iron while you're actually soldering. The solder only touches the joint you're soldering.
And you never want to wipe the solder on using the iron itself. It simply flows onto it like a cake glaze.
Up, the solder will flow onto the joint. Don't try to push or paste the solder onto the joint. Just touch the solder to the joint until it starts melting and let it flow onto the joint.
That's essentially what a perfect solder joint looks like. Here's a few more examples. As you can see, it just melts on. You can hardly see it flowing, but you can see it turn shiny silver. You always want to twist the wire of the strands that you're connecting before, and making a good physical connection before you're soldering, so it holds together no matter what.
The solder joint will have solder completely melted onto it and be shiny silver. That's it.
Here's the video by Cold Restart on YouTube. It was a great tutorial. The fume hood that I made in class is extremely useful for metal and plastic welds. Like this 3D print here, I attached a sombrero to my 3D model scan of my head and torso, and the fume hood is great for long-term exposure to dangerous pollutants in the air in the class. It sucks it right out the window. Thank you very much for watching my video on soldering and my fume hood. I'm pretty proud of it, and yeah, thanks for watching the video. And I love making projects like these, editing videos. And I know this is later than should be submitted, but thank you for watching this, Mr. Playter. And I hope you have a great summer, and I'll see you next semester, hopefully.